Pisces.
Pisces, this is your forecast for April 2015, and you had that total solar eclipse there in your sign, 29 degrees there, March 20th. For those of you listening to the forecast early on here on the March side, you might not still have experienced it, and so you have that to look forward to. And I did make a special recording just for the total solar eclipse. If you haven't listened to that yet, you might want to go listen to it now. However, though, that came up in your first house. And the first house has to do with self, your personality, how you present yourself, because it is that rising sign in your solar chart. So somehow I feel that that solar eclipse is really going to make a big change here for you, as it does, all eclipses do. But come here April, we have another total eclipse. This time it's going to be a total lunar eclipse. And for you Pisces, it is showing up here in your 8th house, which has to do with money, royalties, commissions, the money that you share with your partner, any kind of shared resources. In fact, it could be taxes and those things as well. So you might want to see and pay attention, especially to what is going to take place there on April 4th. 8th house related. Now the 8th house is also known as the house of intimacy, how you share with your partner on those deeper levels. So this should be interesting. It's 14 degrees there in Libra, and Libra is all about balance and what is fair between you and the ones that you work closely with. So that might, come to the forefront there. And 14 degrees, you might want to check out what other planets do you have at 14 degrees, because they will also be touched and influenced by this total lunar eclipse. We have now full focus here on the planets. They're kind of moving together here a little bit. The Sun, Mercury, Uranus, and the new moon, all in your 2nd house for money and income this month, Pisces. So this is where your total focus will be. I see how you're crunching numbers, bringing things together, how you could tweak, how you can improve, what other perhaps creative money sources and opportunities could be around you. I see how you've been working on a lot of projects here over the last couple of months. You were really cooking up a storm here, probably there, I feel, both March and February, but they're coming into fruition now, especially more so, should I say, on the financial focus of it. Now, you have the new moon, Pisces, here also in this very area, and that is the time that we put down our intentions. This will be on April 18th. And so your intentions this month should be when you get closer to that 18th, you'll see how your mind has been ticking, right? And so you will have a feeling and a sense of it. So the intention should be, I want to use a little time every month to focus on how I can tweak my income. So it doesn't just become this once a year that suddenly here's this big awakening that we got to think about it, right? So, and that new moon here will activate you for the whole next year until you get the next opportunity to do so. Now, I'd like also to say, for those of you who write your abundance check, don't forget to write it. We always do that on the new moon, and it activates, abundance coming into our lives within the day you write it and to that of next month. For those of you who don't know how to write your abundance check, I do have a video coming out on my newsletter, exactly how to fill it out and how this will work to actually magnetize more flow of money into your life. It's a great little ritual to do every new moon. So now we have Mercury, the Sun. Mercury's your thought, your linear thought processing, and it's your communication. 2nd house area of money and income. The Sun is you, the essence of who you are, is also dwelling into this money and income sector this month. And both the Sun and Mercury will be passing over that Uranian point, which is transiting through your house. So you can come to expect maybe some exciting news or events turning up for you here before the month is over, and we'll go through that as we go through the calendar. Now, we'll speak about the calendar. The last month I did a separate video for it, and the feedback that I got from you, some of you loved it, some of you really want it back into the videos, so I'll do that as well and give you both options so that you have the separate video if you want to have that as something, just a go-to place to get it quickly throughout next month. But yeah, we're going to go through the aspects and the transits this month because there's a lot going on. Sometimes we have a short list, sometimes we've got a long list. This month is a long list of transits, so a lot of exciting energy. Venus and Mars both are in your third house, Pisces, and the third house is communication, it is travel, it's being out and about in your community a little bit more, a lot of to and fro and short trips perhaps, and loving doing what you're doing. There's a sense of freedom in it, and there's also a sense of luxury in doing it. And I say luxury, why? Because Venus is here and it's the ruler of Taurus. And they're moving through the sign of Taurus, so that's like a double whammy Venus here. So I'm feeling that your communication throughout this month is going to be awesome as long as Venus is there. She's going to move into Gemini a little bit later in the month, there on the 11th, but up to April 11th, you're going to have a great time. Lots of fun, lots of laughter. Mars being here is feisty and fiery and action prone to get up and going and moving around, and it too wants to do what it wants to do because it's in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus is always very clear on their choices, needs, and wants. So a great time for you. All of these planets here now are just moving down here on the bottom side of your chart, all the personal planets that is. Your long-term aspects, they're more moving on the top side of your chart, and they're long-term transits, so they're working, over time. But the day-to-day stuff, it's all about your income, communication, travel, how you're sharing with your neighbors and siblings probably as well, and short trips. That's also the third house, getting out and about, right? Now Neptune is still in your first house, long-term transit, and you must be feeling how the creativity is really fully awakening and wanting to express itself, coming out, especially for those of you born within the first third of your sign. Neptune there is very active, and so it's starting to come up and show out into the world. And when I say into the world, it's also because that Saturn in your 10th house here, Pisces, this is you, your authority, those things that you have matured forward, should I say. The last 14 years now is coming out, it's blossoming in your career, and I see that you're shooting some long arrows here to catch those targets of the goals that you have slowly but surely and steadily been wanting to reach. We have Pluto in your area of groups and organizations. Pluto is profoundly having its impact on how you impact groups and people around you. Pluto's all about transformation and bringing enlightenment out from the old school, which is Capricorn. Pluto is in Capricorn. Capricorn is the old school, the conventional way of thinking. Pluto's wanting to transform all of that, having a new view, and this is where you're reaching out to groups and putting your mark on it. Now, yes, Jupiter is moving forward this month on the 8th, and currently it's been retrograding here for the last few months in the 6th house of your day-to-day routine. A lot of you might have been feeling that yes, the abundance haven't left you, even though she went retrograde, but the abundance, instead of moving it out into the world, you might have felt these last months how Jupiter has been growing and expanding within you, your consciousness, your thought processing, and your conceptual ideas. So now is the time for it to start opening the doors and come out to the world after April 8th. So let's take a look at top of the month here for you. We have April 2nd, such a beautiful day here for you to have whatever conversations you're needing to have with some person in authority, or maybe it's you coming across with your own sense of authority. This Mercury and Saturn, they're trine, so that's always great because you're being heard and what you're expressing is also quite serious, and you're being supported on the very same day here with the Sun and Jupiter trine. The Sun is you, Jupiter is abundance. It's all that fantastic support that we can have with joy and optimism coming in to help you communicate what it is you're needing to do there on the 2nd. So great day for presentation or a review or an interview, anything of that sort. Should be good for you. Then we have on the 4th that total lunar eclipse that we have mentioned. On the 5th, there might be a little hiccup for you to look at, a little tension perhaps around you or within you. That's the Sun squaring off on Pluto. However, though, you know, the Sun moves very quickly, so don't get stuck in that rut. Just recognize it, let it go. April 6th is a day of opportunity and good news coming your way. And this is because Mercury, the planet of communication, is trining in that harmonious, beautiful aspect to Jupiter, which brings not just news, but big news, good news. And to support it, the Sun, your essence on that day too, is coming up with a conjunction to Uranus. Uranus brings the unexpected, and it's a conjunction, so that always means it's a spark to start off new things, a new cycle. The Sun meets up with Uranus only one day every year, and it lasts only for one day. So it could be an important day to pay attention to, and we're happy to have Mercury and Jupiter with us on that day with that trine. So it should definitely be a good day. That's April 6th. On the 8th, 7th and 8th, you might feel a little oppressed, or maybe somebody around you might be a little antsy and irritable. And this is because Mercury is squaring off here on both Pluto and Uranus, and so we got some energy going there, and maybe going off in different directions, or something might be touched upon that can trigger that type of energy. But even this shall pass. Okay, that's a couple of days. But they're on that 8th. That's Jupiter moving direct again after its long sleep in its retrograde state. And Jupiter, for you, Pisces, is in your 6th house. So you will see how your day-to-day routines are going to open up with a lot of optimism, a lot of joy, moving forward. And then, of course, you will be receiving that of which you give out. On the 11th, Venus is moving out of your 3rd house of communication, out of the sign of Taurus and into Gemini. Now, Gemini rules your 4th house in your solar scope. And so here there's love, there is beauty, there is tranquility and peace. Venus loves to artsy things up a little bit. Maybe this will be time for you to gather friends and loved ones to your home. And of course, we're coming in here to springtime, so time for potlucks and that kind of thing too, right? On the 12th, Mars, which is your energy, your determination, your goals, your passion, coming in, aligning with Neptune, which is your ideal inner hopes and dreams. It's your vision. And this is a harmonious aspect. And Mars being in your 3rd house for travel or communication, Neptune being in your 1st house, Neptune also rules vision, or images or film and video, dance and the arts. So when we have Mars and Neptune together, you might be doing something very artsy, creative here on the 12th, which can be absolutely fantastic for you. You want to make the most out of it while it's there, right? You'll have a couple of days. Mars doesn't move that quickly as the sun. So on the 14th, though, Mercury, your communication levels are moving out of Taurus. And in Taurus, here up to the 14th, moving out of, out of Aries. And Mercury in Aries is very, it's a go-getter, action-oriented. Let's go do, right? That's what Aries wants. Now coming into Taurus on the 14th and for the rest of the month there, Mercury is going to think more along the Taurian lines. And what does Taurus do? They think, they secure, they want, they have. They're money oriented. So Mercury is going to be thinking a little bit more how you can structure and secure those things that Mercury now has thought about as it was crunching numbers there in the second house, thinking about all those creative projects that you could do for a secondary whatever income. Now it's wanting to put it out into action there in the third house and communicate about it. Then we have Pluto. Pluto in your 11th house is going to go retrograde, and the 11th house is all about your hopes and dreams, those things that are reaching out to, wanting to transform within your groups of friends or social networks. There's a lot of things there that you're engaged into, wanting to change and transform. So now that it goes retrograde, it will give you a little bit break, so you have time to get an overview on those projects that you have been working with. On the 17th, a little bit of antsiness. Maybe somebody around you might be a little irritable. We have Mars and Jupiter squaring off on each other. Mars is always active. It wants to get going. It's a very restless planet. Jupiter is saying, hey, hold it a second. Are you sure you want this? Because for whatever action we take, there's always a consequence. And Jupiter wants you to look at the whole picture. So it might try to stop you just for a few days. Not long, just a few days. And when I say not long, well, it is also because here on the 21st, that Mars is going to be very convinced. So on the 17th, if not all information or data is available to you, that's when we have a yellow and a red light. You know, if you are convinced, it's green light. Your intuition will just align you and off you go. But whenever there's doubt, it is because your spirit guides are saying, just hold it a little second, wait for more to come in. And that's what you're going to be receiving between the 17th and 21st. Little disappointment on the 19th, maybe some expectations that you had didn't really go through, or maybe there's a little short delay, or somebody didn't hold their promise, whatever it is. Venus and Neptune square, that's always something that we might feel, but even this shall pass, Pisces, so don't despair with it. This Mars-Pluto on the 21st, however, is going to be empowered here, not just through its trine, but Mercury is coming to join the party on the 22nd. So I feel, you know, that aspect on both days will be active. So Mercury, your way of thinking, your thoughts, your communication, your action with Mars, Pluto wanting to transform. We have energy here where we can just roll boulders uphill with force, strength, conviction, know-how. And so this is where I'm saying, just wait to the 22nd, if ever in doubt, there a little earlier in the week, because things are coming together towards the end of the month. And then a beautiful, nice surprise here, Venus, which is love, and Uranus sextiling, and, well, love and money, of course, we can't forget that. The romantic, unexpected coming in here with Uranus. So if you are in a relationship, expect something nice to happen for the two of you. If you're single, this could be a day where you might cross paths with somebody that you can become very attracted to. And in that case, if it's new love, you might be attracted to this person just because he or she is different, okay? Emitting a different type vibe. That's the Uranian factor. It could be the age that's different, or the background culture, whatever it is. You might be very conventional and suddenly getting a thing for this rocker, something like that. That's a part of the Uranian experience. We're ending this month here, Pisces, with Mercury changing signs out from Taurus and into Gemini. And Mercury rules Gemini, so it's powerful, it's strong there, and Mercury rules communication. So you're going to come to see how this is going to really step it up when we move into May. That's more for next month. I'll be talking more about it. But yeah, that is what we have here for April. Okay, and I'll see you next month.